Hey everybody! So, I'm coming back just to talk about a couple of things. It's Father's Day the day I'm recording it, and Father's Day is a really, really hard day for me. I haven't talked to my dad since I was about 17. Um, we talk on and off every now and then, but there is an extremely strained relationship between us. Um, and that's something I wanted to talk about today. A lot of people struggle with, especially Father's Day. There are a lot of dads that aren't around, they've passed away, they've abandoned the family, and I never thought through my whole childhood that I would ever struggle with Father's Day. I always thought that my dad was always going to be there for me, and I'm sure if I asked him to be, he would be there for me, but there's so much about me that he just doesn't support. It's really hard being open with who I am and knowing that the person who raised me won't ever love that about me. I'm not straight. I am in a heteronormative relationship, so I am dating a man, but I'm not straight. I'm pansexual, and outside of the fact that my dad doesn't support the LGBT community, he wouldn't even understand what pansexual is, and he would say that I'm making it up. And that hurts. My dad is the kind of person who has never supported the community that I'm a part of, and I've known my sexuality almost my whole life. I came out to my mom at 11 years old, but I am still technically in the closet with my own dad. Even though I'm very verbal about it online, he has no access to any of that information. I love my dad. I don't always like him, but I love him. He did raise me. And the choice to separate myself from him came out of love for myself. I was having 5-6 panic attacks a day when I was in contact with him. I was depressed. I didn't want to go see him. And I was in high school. He didn't want me to do any of my high school stuff. I had just joined a color guard, and it required me to be there almost every weekend. And he wanted me every other weekend, and sometimes we just would have to figure out a way to make it work. And eventually it came down to the point of having to go to court and saying I didn't have to see him when I didn't want to. And that strained our relationship. It was already strained because I had moved at 15 years old out of his home to go live with my mom. I know I hurt my dad. But my whole life, my dad hurt me. He didn't hit me, but he didn't have to. I watched him favor my sister over me. And my sister and I are best friends. And when my dad would come at me trying to say something mean, accuse me of something I didn't do, she would always step in and protect me. That was who she was. She was my protector. And even to this day, I'm 20, she's 22, she always protects me. So this is not something my sister ever did wrong. This is my dad. I grew up knowing that my dad would never favor me, which I thought was normal. I thought it was normal to have a favorite child. And then when I moved, my mom loved us both equally. And I was so confused by it because I just always expected that my sister would always be the favorite. I'm sure my dad loved me in his own weird way, but he didn't love who I was. He loved the idea of who he thought I was. In his eyes, I was the goody two-shoes, good grades, daddy's girl. I wasn't. I wanted to be an activist. I wanted to use my voice to speak out. And for so many years, he silenced me. He suppressed my voice. I didn't speak out. I cried myself to sleep more times than I could count. I want a relationship with my father one day. I just don't think he's ready for it. I have changed so much in the years since I've seen him. I have tattoos. I have not normal piercings. I live with my boyfriend, and we're obviously not married, which is a big no-no for him. He's very conservative, very traditional. I denied myself a lot growing up. I don't do a lot of things now because I hear him echoing inside my head. I have put on weight. And it's not a ridiculous amount, but it's enough that when I look at myself in the mirror, I remember all the things he said about fat people and how guys like thigh gaps. And I don't have my thigh gap that I had when I was 12. I have big thighs. I'm a curvy person. And I don't like myself anymore. Because all I hear is him in my head telling me that I'm not good enough. That I'll never be good enough. And he's never said those words to me. But happy Father's Day to everyone, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.